Hello, I'm Andrew Campbell from Ashridge Business School, and I want to share with you some thoughts about one really interesting aspect of large corporates, which is that they are liable to subtract value, to make things worse rather than to make things better. And there is plenty of evidence for this because often businesses that are spun out from a corporate parent end up performing rather better as independent companies than they did as part of the mother company that was probably smothering them a bit. So what are the ways in which large corporates end up smothering or subtracting value from their business divisions? And in my book, Strategy for the Corporate Level, published in May 2014, there is a whole chapter devoted to this topic where there are 8 different sources of subtracted value that are described, and I'm just going to mention a few of these to give you a feel for why this is fairly common. And to give you one other bit of supporting data here, Boston Consulting Group, the strategy consulting company, wrote a report on this as a result of research they had done, which was titled "First Do No Harm," taking from the Hippocratic Oath of doctors. Your duty is first to do no harm when you're trying to help. And they were pointing out that corporate headquarters frequently, with very good intentions, are trying to help, but often actually make things worse. And so first do no harm before you go ahead with your plans to help. The ways in which corporate headquarters can do harm are, and this is a few ways. One is to give misleading guidance about strategy. So corporate headquarters will have ideas of what strategy a particular business or division should follow. But those ideas sometimes are wrong ideas, and the business, because it's a loyal part of the team, is liable to follow those ideas given by corporate. One classic example is BAT, the tobacco company, getting into financial services with a view that market share is a really important measure. They encourage their financial services business to measure market share and to increase their market share. Unfortunately, in financial services, a lot of the market is unprofitable. So gaining market share is not necessarily a good thing. It is a good thing in cigarettes. It's not necessarily a good thing in financial services, and hence the outcome was very expensive to BAT, who got out of financial services later at a big loss. Another source is poor people decisions. So the headquarters have to decide who is going to run each of the business divisions. And if you get those decisions wrong, you're using rules of thumb about who are good managers from businesses you know and applying those rules of thumb in businesses you understand less well, you can make some quite bad decisions. And those decisions about who runs, who leads, can have a really big impact on performance. Another source is poor performance targets. So the division will negotiate performance targets with the corporate center. This is a tricky game because in order to get their bonuses, the leaders of the divisions are always trying to sort of negotiate something that's fairly easy to deliver. And the headquarters are trying to stretch the division team to commit to high performance. You can imagine that negotiation sometimes comes out with a result which is too high, and the division are asked to do more than they should be, or too low, and they're being asked to do less than they should be. And the outcome is less good than it would be if that company had been independent and had been setting its own targets. One more is a problem with the allocation of capital. The headquarters have the money, and so they, or at least they will collect the money at the end of the year, as it were, and then allocate it out at the beginning of the next year. And it's very easy for them not to allocate enough to a particular division, or to allocate too much. Again, it's a bit of a negotiation goes on, particularly because there's a family of businesses and they all want money. And the danger is there isn't enough to go around for all of them, so everyone gets a little less than they need, and therefore everyone underperforms. Better to sell something and have enough money to support all of them. So you can see that there are quite a few ways in which a group headquarters, corporate headquarters, can make things worse for a division that reports in. Hence, first do no harm.